back on Boond Soch ttalk Train of Thought with a series of an episode with Mr. Gopal Mishra, who is a Senior Manager ERP with HPCL. Sir, welcome to this ttalk channel again. So now, in fact, your experience with the Tatas and with HPCL for 17 years, I'm sure you might have gone through the various process of an negotiation so for basic understanding for our target audience, can you enlighten them in terms of the fundamental model of a negotiation, why it is important, and what are the steps which are there in negotiation?
So negotiation is something that all the functions do, not just operations but also sales, even HR, externally as well as internally. So you negotiate sometimes with your colleagues, with your different departments, sometimes you negotiate with your customers, suppliers. In all cases, negotiation is actually quite an important business process, even in personal life, to both the parties. You get things that you want and they get to get things that they want. If a negotiation fails, you land up in a situation of where you were, back to square one. And if you do not want that situation, you want that negotiation to succeed. So it's an important skill that we must learn, and it is required in business life as well as in personal life. Now the steps, if you see, the first step is preparation, which is the most important step. So during preparation, you have to understand the perspective of the other person. You make a list of things that they want. You try to be in their shoes and understand why they are here to negotiate, what all things they want from you. And then you list your own demands. What are the things that you want from this negotiation? And not only just single list, you split it. What are the most important things that you just cannot lose? Then there are things that you would like to have. And then there are things that are good to have, but you may give up in the negotiation. The more elaborate your research is, the more elaborate your planning work is, the better you negotiate during the process. So let us say I am negotiating with a business partner who is here to get a contract, and I have to first understand what are the jobs that they are currently doing, what are the contracts that they currently have, why they want this job, whether they are actually interested in this job or they are not interested, whether they are here for one purpose or could be a multiple motivations for them coming to this job. The better I understand their perspective, the better I am able to negotiate. And I also have to understand my own perspective, how sensitive it is, how much desperately I want this negotiation to succeed.
Correct.
And that is what decides how well I'll be able to negotiate.
Okay.
The second step is the process of opening negotiation. And this is a very important step if you do not know the person beforehand. So mostly for external negotiation. For internal, you might be knowing the person beforehand. So the preparation, what you did was from the perspective of the other person, but what you understood as his perspective. So this was basically your perspective, your perspective of their perspective. Now when you listen to the other person, you're understanding their real perspective. The other person explains what they want, of course, during the discussion. You also explain, but you listen more and speak less.
Right.
This is the most important skill during a negotiation, the listening skill. So you listen and try to understand the perspective of that person. You understand different motivations that they are coming from. So as I gave you an example of one contractor, during the listening phase, I understood that contractor is here not just to get profits from the contract. Of course, everybody wants to do a service and get profit, but they're also here to gain a new experience which this new job is providing, which I understood on the sides during the discussion. So there could be multiple motivations for the person who is coming for negotiation, and you have to understand all the perspectives, and you can also verify that during discussion. One thing that is very important is to get a confirmation, so you can voice it in your own words
Correct.
and then get a feedback whether what you're understanding is right or not.
Correct.
And the next stage is mostly the bargaining stage and the closing stage, which is quite infamous in some way, viewed very negatively. We sometimes view it as a very negative thing to negotiate. It's like a fight. I win, you lose. But it is not like that. Most of the time, negotiation is about trying to win for both. Because if you want to make a long-term relationship with any business
Win-win
partner,
situation.
right, sir? So you have to have a win-win situation. You can extract too much just one time. Maybe the next time the person feels cheated and doesn't come back.
Correct.
But you have to give something in order to take something. And the initial stage, what you prepare for is what you are prepared to give,
Yeah.
and what you are not prepared to give,
Correct.
and what you must have, and what you can forego. And that is what will be very important for any negotiation. So during the bargain and close out, you understand the motivation, you work on the motivations of the other people. So you make different plans, different options, and choose between them. You decide what is going to work for both of you. And that is how you are going to create a win-win situation.
Good. I think, as like you said, like in any field, like the basic fundamental needs to be very strong. And in terms of a negotiation, also, if the preparation is right, like understanding what customers they are looking at and what you have to offer, like and how to open the conversation, which is that's pretty important. And as you have said, like being a listener, that's a core aspects of a negotiation. And in closing statement also, it's like normally how you can have a win-win situation for both. Thanks a lot for enlightening your target audience on the basic fundamental model of a negotiation. And I'm sure if you like Mr. Gopal Mishra episodes on negotiation, just go to www.ttalk.net, subscribe and like the channel as much as you can. Also catch up with him on our next episode of a T Talk. Till then, thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks very much.